health, whether it's climate change, gender, I think is relevant everywhere. And we need to make sure now this is a new concept in Pakistan. A lot of people, they say, oh, what is gender mainstreaming? But I think this is something which is very, very important, and you people have done a lot of work. And I think when I see your political presence in the Congress, we still really need to, the participation of women in politics. We need a lot of empowerment there, because we have reached the parliament, but being in key decision-making positions, that is something which we are working towards. Because you people, are there where you can really influence policies. But for us, I am chairing an oversight committee, but it was only recently empowered. And now we are working towards making policies which will help, especially in the post-COVID situation. There are millions of women in Pakistan who have been marginalized, who are working from home. They were home-based workers. They were doing small-scale businesses from home, but they were not, they were not covered legally. There was no law protecting them. They did not have any social security. But now, we are bringing in an act for these. There are about 12 million in Punjab, the province from which I'm representing. So now we are bringing in a law in which, they will get social protection. They will become part of our documented economy. But a lot of them need, we need help. How to set up small businesses, maybe a development center for them, where we can help them with their training, with their skills development, with their marketing, because I read your CV and you have a lot of experience in that field also.
This is so incredible. Women and girls in Pakistan really need a lot of help, and the fact that you're doing this is just tremendous. So I applaud you for your work. And I do want to tell you that I have supported a number of related asks in our state and foreign operations appropriations requests, which we will be voting on at the end of July. We have these appropriations bills, and we put in requests for what we think are important to us. And so I requested robust funding for programs to promote gender equality in U.S. diplomatic and development efforts, at least $50 million to increase leadership opportunities for women in countries where women and girls suffer discrimination due to law, policy, or practice, $350 million for women's economic empowerment, $250 million to implement the whole of government U.S. global strategy to empower adolescent girls, and no less than $380 million to address gender-based violence, and no less than $150 million to implement the Women, Peace, and Security Act of 2017 and the U.S. Strategy on Women, Peace, and Security, and no less than $19 million to support women and girls who are at risk from extremism and conflict, and no less than $20 million for the Office of Global Women's Issues at the State Department. So there are a lot of ways to try to make an impact. And so there are all these funds, in the approach that affect the international state of women and girls. And so we definitely try to speak up for them and try to make sure that girls have the greatest opportunity possible.
That is really wonderful, and I hope we will be a part of this whole process where you have been successful, in the approval of such vast sums for women empowerment. And I think when it comes to adolescent girls, we need a lot of help there, because in our country, there is this practice of child marriage. And we are trying to bring in a bill where, the minimum age of marriage is 18. because then you have some kind of identification, you have your national ID card. What happens is that a lot of girls are pulled out of school after the primary level because because of security concerns, because of maybe poverty, and girls are considered to be a burden. We're trying to change all that because you see, adolescent girls, they need to complete education. So what we are trying, our government has started second shift schools where girls get a second chance to complete their education, and then we also try to give them some skills with which they can earn a living too, because at that age they're not just interested in education, they want to earn money also.
Yeah.
So we in learn, we did that with the bank, and this advocacy was done throughout the province, and it did change the attitudes and the mindset and the need for education, because that is so important, that will enable women to stand on their own feet and improve the quality of their lives and the lives of their families. So this is really very important. How we can collaborate on this front, as far as your kind self is concerned.
Well, if you have particular, I don't know. Actually, Ben, do you have some ideas? Actually, my staffer Ben is on, and maybe Ben, you can show yourself.
Hi.
Yes.
And yeah, okay. So
Hi, everybody.
how could we interact? For one thing, for international needs to have, you should communicate to the staff, because
Yes.
then we can then act upon that. But whether it is these funds or any kinds of other initiatives that you have, we could see what we could do.
Well, yeah, as the Congresswoman mentioned, she listed a lot of her requests in the foreign operations budget. And so it's possible that we could speak to the State Department about ensuring that some of the projects that you're working on are included as well. And, I know there's a whole process by which the State Department determines who gets these funds and who the partners are. But we could look into ways to flag some of the projects that you're working on, to try to direct some of the State Department funding that way.
Come to think of it, they must have breakdowns by country as to how these funds are distributed. Which funds go to Pakistan?
Could somebody please help me with my name, because I think my name is because your name is being repeated in both.
Oh, I
slots.
see. Yes, it's Uzma Kardar. Yeah.
It's Uzma Kardar. I'm sorry. I this what we actually need right now. This are the home-based workers legislation will go through in the assembly in the coming, because it's already been tabled. Now, these women, they need some small business development centers, where they can display products, where we can train them, we can help them with their marketing, we can help them with their registration, and so that they become part of their financial inclusion, and they're becoming part of the documented economy is ensured. So I was wondering how you can help us on that front.
Ben, are these the type of things AID does?
I mean, AID does a lot, and they work with local partners. I think that there's probably some entrepreneurial components that could be done. I wonder, because if we could just even connect some with is that they went through and established what's useful, like what they found to be most useful in helping new entrepreneurs, what kind of resources are useful to have on hand, because like I said, the Congresswoman's got experience bringing that into her district, and it sounds like that's something similar that you want to do in Pakistan.
So my question is that should we make a proposal and send it to you, Ben, or the office? So how
I'm
we
the
can.
best contact.
Yeah.
Yes, please do with me and keep me
So that way, it's a
keep in touch with
long
me.
process. I know that, but at least, if we start on some grounds and we can help them out, that would be a great help from Judy's office to develop something, in Pakistan for that. If we can get some funds and they can utilize those, or either way. I mean, maybe there is some training or some information they need to develop there. So probably those will be definitely would be very helpful.
And in fact, we also include transgenders and people with special abilities, and they're part of these skills development centers and the trainings. And we've taken them on board, and we've had multiple meetings with those stakeholders. Also, they're all with us, and we want them to be together. So that they have an equal opportunity and no one is left behind. And that is what gender mainstreaming, I feel that is what my portfolio is all about, so that they don't feel excluded and left out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, for instance, one of these spots is 250 million to implement the whole government U.S. global strategy to empower adolescent girls. And it seems like, I don't know, it seems like this fits into what you're talking about fits into that. But yeah, if you can do a little investigation, Ben, as to what and how they get these types of funds, that would be good.
Yes, I'm looking into that, and I will continue to.
Okay. So what do you think that the next step should be taking towards that one? What we can do to help them?
Well, I would say, sorry, I was looking over some of the SFOP's emails. I would say maybe you could flag for me some of the projects that you're working on and what kind of help from us would be the most useful. If it's connecting you with someone at State Department or USAID, I will look into the appropriations to see how much aid is going towards Pakistan for these purposes. We probably write a letter. I know that process is actually wrapping up. I think it wrapped up earlier this afternoon to get amendments into the process.
I see.
But there might still be ways for us to reach out to the committee to let them know that it's important to us that they include funding to help women and this gender mainstreaming work that you're doing. So yes, if you could be in touch with me and let me know some of what you're working on, some of the project details, I can see how we can flag that for the appropriations committee.
I see. Okay, that sounds good.
I'll draw a proposal and I'll discuss it with all the stakeholders, and we will forward once I'm back in Pakistan in a week or so. Then we will forward the proposal to you, Ben, and then you can work on it and see how. I don't know if you are already working. I don't think so, because right now we do have a lot of funding that comes from the British High Commission through DFID and the European Union. They do work with some NGOs, but of course I'm representing the government in Pakistan. So this would be like, from government to government type of action.
So I think from the government end, there's probably some, like I said, we do have foreign aid programs, and so I will check into
if you could check
what we can do. Yeah, I'll look into that.
But that'll be very helpful, because right now I had a meeting with all the stakeholders, and the problem is we need space, we need a building of the infrastructure where they can establish their small scale business center, from where they can operate their small scale businesses. that is what we need to do right now, develop that infrastructure for them, and then help them with small loans, to sort of maybe rehabilitate some, or to for expansion for this, so on and so forth,
And let me ask, what kind of commitment is there from the Pakistani government for these type of things?
The Pakistan government, in our recent ADP, they did allocate a separate fund for transgenders, but that was more in the form of stipends, and individual stipends. And for adolescent girls, we have started in Punjab. We have started about 720 new second shift schools, in which there are girls now, and they are being helped with life skills also. So that is on the education front. And as far as the home-based workers are concerned, they are not part of our legal or documented economy right now. So that legislation is going through in the coming month or so. Only after that, I've requested the finance minister that this bill has been tabled, and there are 12 million women, in Punjab. So please allocate some funds for their skills development and training centers. And he gave me the undertaking that he would draw some funds from some other programs and put it in this particular program, because this legislation will go through in the coming month. It's not there right now. We really had to work very hard for this. There so many women, and they're being exploited. They don't get enough wages for the hard work that they do. So now we are bringing them into that documented fold, where they will be registered, and they will get social protection, and they will be protected against exploitation from contractors and other employers. So that is the situation right now.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, so you'll have a proposal from Uzma Kardar and Ben, and you guys will talk then.
Yes. And we'll see how we can support the great work you're doing.
Trainings, and some observations, some trainings, exchange, that would always be helpful, to see how you guys are doing it here, and, how things are progressing here. So we can take some best practices home also. That would be a great, I think, for us.
Yeah, we do have models here with our small business development centers and our women business centers. So, yeah.
That would
So if we could visit those, see how things are happening here, because we now need to empower all the women who are right now, they don't have any kind of social security, and the state has to step in now and help their empowerment and uplift. They're working, they work very hard, but they get exploited at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So great, Judy. I think it's great meeting. Thank you once again. Thank you so much for your time, and I will make sure that Uzma and Ben are connected. Ben, I don't have, I think, your email address.
Let me put it in the chat right now, and that way everyone will have it.
Yeah, so that way then, we can have that, and then we will connect Uzma to your office, and let's see, we can help them out and make sure that they will be getting some information or some help, even in training or financial and all that stuff. So we'll try our best.
Thank you
Very
so
good.
much.
Good.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great meeting you.
Always good to see you. Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye.